Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Brown's Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, but you can call me Grizzer. That's just fine. And this is where we get you caught up on some of the latest news and the tidbits that are tied to our favorite team in the NFL, the Cleveland Browns. And then we give you our take, some call them opinions, on the news along the way. Thank you to everybody who's liked our previous episodes. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. We are on our way to 14,000 subscribers. So I really appreciate it. We keep climbing. And once again, when we get there, we'll give the Orange Quarter Zip a rest for just one show. And thank you to all of you who get your comments down there in the viewer comment section. And coming up on today's show, on the day, we find out that the Browns will be playing the Saints in Paris, France on October 26th. The hiring of coaches that make complete sense in Cleveland continues. We'll also go over why Deshaun Watson will never work out as a starting quarterback option and maybe not even a backup quarterback option for the Browns. The more you see and hear from Todd Monken, the more you realize how much better off we are. And in the viewer comments, the chess move the Browns have pulled. What did they use? The rook, the knight, the queen? Well, we'll have to find out in just a few minutes. But first things first, we have a new quarterbacks coach, folks. And again, it is a hire that makes a lot of sense for us. His name is Mike Bajakian, and he worked with Todd Monken in Tampa Bay. That's how they know each other. This was back in 2015 when Jameis Winston came on the scene. And yeah, the tutelage of Monken and Bajakian, the Inns, only accounted for a record-setting year for Jameis Winston. He was Offensive Rookie of the Year. He set franchise records for passing yards, touchdowns, completions, passer rating, and he helped the Bucs offense to a top 5 finish that year in the NFL and a record for yards. So the power of Monken and Bajakian, the law firm of Monken and Bajakian, that's a good fit. Now, here's the thing. You're going, well, Dave, like, what NFL team is he coming from? He's not. He's coming from UMass, but bear with me. He is well known among the college ranks. He's been an offensive coordinator at multiple places, including Cincinnati, Tennessee, Boston College, Northwestern. He was named, he already had a job. He was named Michigan State's quarterbacks coach 2 days after Christmas, but Monken called and he said, sorry, Spartans, you're not the Buckeyes. I mean, you're a Big Ten school, but you're not the Buckeyes, so I'm out of here. I'm going back to Ohio where it's cool. I'm not staying in Michigan because it could take me a while to get the smell off. And so I'm going to Ohio. That's what he said. I only report the facts. No, I'm kidding. But no, he did. The Michigan State had him. Michigan State's a very nice campus. My son has played baseball there. That is a great campus. I love Michigan State's campus. So, and then last year he was at UMass. He was the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at UMass. And so he's got a ton of college experience. And so you're still probably going, well, Dave, how does that help us? Like, why would they hire this guy? Not only because of his ties to Monken, but he is very good at developing young quarterbacks. And the last time I looked, we have a young quarterback. And so he has a track record of developing quarterbacks who might be a little bit more inexperienced or whatever, but that's his track record. He's got a reputation for guiding young or high potential quarterbacks to strong early career production in pass heavy schemes. Kind of sounds like us. This guy is the perfect fit, and you watch some videos on him, and he's all into letting the playmakers make plays. And I think they're going to really develop this offense around Shedeur to let him do what he does best, go off script, and like Lamar Jackson would. And so I think you're going to see a lot more of that, especially now that we have the law firm. We got a new law firm. I wanted the other law firm, but we got the law firm of Monken and Bajakian. So I'm good with that. I'm good with the ends. Oh, there's enough room at the ends for a great offense, and we've got one. We've got a great one. Now, the other guys we've got 2 young quarterbacks if you want to count Dylan Gabriel, but the way Stefanski's going in Atlanta, he's got everybody that he had here down there. So to me, it's only a matter of time before he calls and asks if he can have Dylan Gabriel back, and we will be happy to box him up and send him down to Atlanta. But the other project that he may be charged with is reacclimating Deshaun Watson, after his double Achilles surgeries. And so, speaking of Watson, it pains me to even talk about this, but I want to explain why I feel like I know how this story's going to end. Watson is not where first of all, the owner has said, big swing and a miss. That's why I don't even think he has a chance to be the backup on this team. When the owner says big swing and a miss, unless Monken and Bajakian talk to Haslam and say, hey, we can at least, make him the backup. If they want to go with that, that's fine. But remember, the double Achilles, he's not going to be able to go off script like he used to, because that's just you just look at the track record of guys with just one Achilles, and he's got 2. Plus the ACL, like he's had some injuries. And so I want to take you back. I want to walk you through why Watson never worked and why he will never work as either a starting quarterback or a backup quarterback for us. And we're going to go back to the Houston days. We're going back to that 2020 season, his last really full season in the NFL. And here's what I kept telling people. I'm like, everybody likes to he threw for 4,000 yards. He did this, he did that. I'm like, listen, that was a team that year that won 4 games, and their defense was historically bad. They were ranked near the bottom in almost every category. They were chasing points all the time. Garbage time played a big role in inflating his stats that year. They had double-digit blowouts. His numbers were padded late because defenses eased off and went into prevent coverages. And I kept telling people that. I'm like, you can't. All of his stats were padded by the prevent defenses. They were chasing points almost every one of those games. That team was terrible. They only won 4 games that year. And so everybody thinks you got this 4,000-yard passer coming here, but I'm going, this guy can't read a defense. So what happens? Well, we make the trade. He doesn't play at all in 2021. So he sits out. And then he's suspended for 11 games. And so he finally gets to us. And in 2022, he plays the last 6 games. 3-3. You see there, 1,100 yards. He threw in 20 rushes for 100 yards. 2023, 6 games. All of these stint. The 2023 ends with a shoulder injury, and in 2024 ends, of course, with the Achilles. But 6 games, 7 games. The guy has played a total of, what did I add up here? 17 games? Is that what I got? Like 17 out of 58 games is what he played or something. Since being let go by Houston, he has played in 19 games. All with Cleveland, out of a possible 85 regular season games. That's 5 times 17 games. This equates to missing 78% of available games in that span, driven by the 2021 benching. So, when he was with the Browns, got benched with the Browns. But here's his total numbers with the Browns. 341 completions out of 500. 3,300 yards is what he's thrown for. Shedeur almost got half of that last year. Well, this season. I don't call it whatever you want. Rushing, 70 for 382. Shedeur almost there already in 7 games, 7.5 games. He was sacked 70 times for 382 yards. Record as a starter, 9-10. So, not good. I don't understand why people are banging the drum for him to take over. But here's the thing. Number one, when Deshaun Watson got here, he was completely exposed. He can't read a defense. He racked up 4,000 yards because he was playing against prevent defenses. And you saw that in full display in that game against Baltimore when we got down really big. Remember that game in Baltimore? It was 2 years ago. And we got down really big. And brought us back in the second half because Baltimore went to a prevent defense. They got out of their regular defense. They were up so big, and Watson started cooking. That's all he can do. He cannot read a defense. And so the Browns are like, okay, well, maybe we need to, Stefanski, I'll give him credit for this. He changed the offense. He went away from his normal horrible offense and tried this spread offense with Watson. And that didn't work either. Do you know why? Can't read a defense. Deshaun Watson can't read a defense. I went to training camp, and I watched it with my own eyes at training camp. Because the other thing is, when he did read the defense, he's the most inaccurate quarterback I think I've ever seen. It's brutal. Like, he had Elijah Moore wide open. It was the first play at training camp, man. Play action, roll right. Moore is wide open down the sideline. Nobody within 10 yards of him. He overthrew him by 30 yards. It was, and then everybody in the crowd was just like, oh. Because we had already seen this before. And so that is why everybody knows, if you're in Cleveland and you've watched this and you know, it's the trolls and the haters and, guys just trying to, people just trying to get a reaction from Cleveland fans when they're the ones, oh, Watson's going to start. Watson is never starting. And I say there is about a 5% chance of him even being with this team when the season starts. I mean, it just depends if I'll say he has a slight chance to be the backup. Slight one. But a guy who can't read a defense, an owner who calls him a big swing and a miss, and a guy with 2 torn Achilles surgeries, like, it doesn't add up to a starting NFL. It barely adds up to a backup quarterback. And so you could see it from 2020 on. I mean, when, I don't know, whatever happened, plus the fact he didn't play all that time, he missed all these games. I mean, he's missed almost 80% of the games we've played. I mean, it just doesn't add up. I mean, his career now, his tenure with the Browns, defined by injuries, combined with the noticeable drop in processing speed. This is from the experts. Noticeable drop in processing speed, accuracy under pressure, and overall effectiveness. The guy can't play anymore. He can make all of the Uncle Rico videos he wants. He can drop back and throw the football over the mountain as much as he wants to show everybody, look, I'm getting better from my Achilles. But that doesn't mean he's a quarterback in the NFL because of everything else I just told you. Number one, and I was telling Soda Pop Dave from day one, I'm like, this guy can't read a defense. And he can't. There it is. That's my piece on Deshaun Watson. That is why he will never play for the Browns ever again, unless they feel they could maybe get something, because they got to pay him. So they're going to at least try. But maybe Monken can teach him a few plays that he can run and be the backup and call it that. That's the only chance. And this is like a 5%, and I might even be high on that chance that that's even going to happen. So, and it's only because they have to pay him this year. That's it. But he's never going to work out in Cleveland. Ever, ever, ever. So anybody who gets in the comments and says Watson's going to start, I'm going to just replay this video for you over and over and over until I can get it through your head. Jimmy Haslam, big swing and a miss. That's what we're referring to Watson from now on. We're going to refer to him as big swing and a miss. So big swing and a miss. If you hear big swing and a miss, we're talking about Watson. That's who we're talking about. Okay, now, not a big swing and a miss. Our new head coach, Todd Monken. And boy, did you see this video that popped yesterday? It's from the Harbaugh Coaching Academy. It's Todd Monken just kind of talking to coaches and players about kind of an introduction. He was talking to them about all the stops he has made over his career, and he spent a few minutes on each team that he has been with, including the Browns. He talked about the 2019 Browns. He spent like, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes on a lot of other teams. But with the Browns, when he got to the Browns, it was rather short. But here he is giving this presentation, and And he's talking. He has a PowerPoint or whatever. The little slide there with some bullet points. And he talked about his experience in 2019 with Freddie Kitchens, and he basically said the season was heck for all involved, and he basically said they were not good. And here's what he said. And this is why I wanted to share this with you, because this is a coach that takes accountability. This is a coach that doesn't just get up there and go, well, we need to play better. He says, and you have to hear the whole speech, but I just pulled the tail end where he's like, every week was like a made-for-TV show in 2019, and we ended up earning what we got, a one and done. He said they deserve to be fired. That's what he said. He said 100%. They deserve to be fired. He said, and it wasn't because of the talent. He said, he put it all on them. He said, it's because we didn't do a good enough job. I didn't do a good enough job. And so Todd Monken, right there, and there's so many other videos that are out that, just him and the accountability that he puts on himself. And so he's going to put that same accountability on his players. And I love when you watch these coaching and teaching videos of Monken, you see that he explains the why. And that's a big thing for me when I was coaching, because that was one thing when I was playing. Like, coaches would have us do stuff, but you never really understood, like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this drill? But that was one thing when I said I was going to coach. I wanted to always make sure I went through it with my players. Why we are doing this? Why we are running this play? Why the backside screen is so important on this play, even though you're not getting the ball. You are the most critical part of this play. Like, getting everybody to understand their role and why they need to execute on whatever play it is that we're doing, or the drill that we're doing. Maybe we were bad on fast breaks the last game. So I said, okay, so because we were bad on fast breaks, our spacing was bad. We're going to work on spacing. This is why we are doing this drill. We are going to work on our spacing. That's the whole point, because you guys kept getting too tight on fast breaks. We missed some fast break opportunities because you guys were too close together. So we got to work on our spacing, or same thing with the half court offense or whatever. I was always big on the why, and Monken is big on the why, explaining to the players why we are doing this, and I love this. And oh, by the way, did you notice the coaching carousel played out just as we expected? Kubiak will take the Raiders job, LaFleur to the Cardinals, and now Shieldhouse will be promoted to the Rams offensive coordinator. That's why Shieldhouse didn't want this job, because he knew what was coming, because he's not ready for it. He knows it. He wants to be an OC first, and he knew that path, so he's going to stay, not have to upend his family, he'll stay there. So this completely worked out in the best case scenario for the Cleveland Browns. Todd Monken is a godsend for Cleveland, just based on everything that we have seen. And we're not even a week into this. It's crazy how much he's accomplished already in just 1 week. Something else we always accomplish here are the viewer comments, and we'll start today with Love and Lovey, who says, I can't wrap my head around another quarterback competition, even if it is fair. Nephew and the 2025 rookie class, meaning Shedeur. Shedeur and the 2025 rookie class created real momentum that needs to be honored and built upon. Take that momentum and run with it right into the playoffs. Love and Lovey, there will be no quarterback competition in Cleveland. This is Shedeur's job. The question is, who will be the backup? Who will back up Shedeur? There's no competition here. It's just not going to happen. Because just for everything we've just gone over, all of the coaches they brought in, this is all, they're throwing it all at Shedeur. They know what they got in Shedeur. They got a first-round talent in the fifth round, and now is the time to take what little he learned from Kevin Stefanski and just completely build on it and turn him into a playoff quarterback this year. Great take. Melissa Porter, 59-28. Watson is never starting in Cleveland again. I would bet my house on it. Melissa Porter, did you and I just become best friends? I completely agree with you. I've been saying that for months. I've been trying to explain it to people, and hopefully my PowerPoint presentation today helps people to understand why. He is broken and can't read a defense, can't process, these are all the things we watched when he was out there. Plus, he's not accurate. So anybody who thinks Deshaun Watson has a chance to be a starting quarterback in the NFL again has not watched Deshaun Watson play in the limited in the 19 out of the last 85 games that we've played, the 19 games that he played, they did not watch those games, if they're saying that. Cap 95-30. Now Dillon Gabriel knows what it's like not to be QB1, and he didn't deserve it either. Follow Stefanski to Atlanta, you'll be all right. Yeah, Cap, I'm with you. Like, that is the one thing with Gabriel. I do feel sorry that Stefanski put him in that situation. We've talked about this before on the show. Like, I do. I feel bad for him. I genuinely do. He should have never been taken in the third round. He should have never been drafted in the third round. And he should have never been anointed the starter, the starting job, and all, and gotten all those reps and other, like, it was borderline malicious what Stefanski was doing with this quarterback room, especially through training camp, and then remember the quarterback tracker, and the numbers would come out every day, and Shedeur was like, 7 for 9 and 9 for 9 and 10 for 10. It's like, and then Shedeur's fourth string. It's like, what is going on? But I do feel bad for Dillon, and that's the other. Like, I hope he ends up in Atlanta, and then, or like, even if he stays here, if Monken thinks he's valuable as a backup on a rookie contract. Like, I don't hate the idea of him being the backup quarterback. I like that better than Watson, to be honest, even though Gabriel's undersized and left-handed. Like Watson to me is emergency quarterback. Like, but the problem is I'm scarred from watching this for 3 years and knowing what we were going to get, a guy that can only play against prevent defenses. I knew we were getting that when he got here. Ask Soda Pop Dave. So, I don't know, man. This backup quarterback situation has me befuddled, as you can tell. This is a great handle. It's part of the there's a couple great handles here at the end, which is why I used them. Wadata. I don't know. Thought it was a funny handle. It says, so Watson is a bum for playing poorly in an awful system, but Shedeur gets a pass for playing poorly because he was in an awful system. Well, if you didn't listen to what I just went over a few minutes ago, please go back and watch it again. It is more than that. Deshaun Watson, they completely changed the system for Deshaun Watson. They went from Stefanski's offense to a spread to try and help this guy, and it didn't help. I'm telling you look it up. We completely changed it. We tried everything to make this work for Deshaun Watson, and everything we did didn't work. It was the same result. It was worm burners, air balls, and then he ends up getting hurt. And sometimes I wonder, like the shoulder, I was like, really? Is it? Are you sure? Because is it just not because you're just horrible and you just want to get off the field and just collect your $230 million guaranteed? Because I had those kind of vibes. The Achilles is the Achilles. There's nothing, you can't fake that. But I don't know, I'm not saying he faked the shoulder injury, but at the time I was like, oh, well, everybody was glad. I mean, nobody wants anybody to get hurt, but we were relieved that he was out of there. He was brutal. He was downright brutal for us outside of that one half against Baltimore when he got to play against the prevent defense, the only defense he can be successful against. I'm telling you, man. I saw this coming 5 years ago, and here we are today. And we will end today with Leon DeBarber Beefcake. I love this handle. Leon DeBarber Beefcake. I'm guessing he's a barber and potentially an exotic dancer, or so he's a Chippendale on the weekends, maybe. Leon DeBarber Beefcake says, and this is what we teased at the top. He says the Browns pulled a chess move by getting more of Harbaugh's guys than he got in New York. And yeah, I'm telling you, man, you can't put a price on these coaches that Monken has brought in here in just a few days, really. I mean, he has lined them up on the offensive side of the ball. This offense is already transforming right before our eyes. And then we haven't even gotten to the players yet. Like, we haven't even started swapping out, some of these players and getting some wide receivers in here and building that offensive line. I mean, what he has done with these coaches to poach these guys from Baltimore, man, you can't put a price on that. And like we've been talking about, not just their knowledge and the comfortableness that they'll bring with Monken. They all understand each other. They all speak each other's language. But it's that winning pedigree that they bring to get this entire team to understand what it takes to win. In not only the NFL, but more specifically the AFC North. That you can't put a price on. So great vibes coming out of Berea, and Monken hasn't even been on a job for a week. How do you like that? Now we gotta get this Schwartz thing figured out, and somebody gotta take Miles to get him a Happy Meal or get him a lollipop or something and cheer him up, and everything's gonna be fine on the defensive side of the ball. I think they'll work things out with Schwartz. Unfortunately, my guy Raheem Morris is gone to San Francisco, so now we've got to get this thing worked out with Schwartz, in my opinion. So cooler heads will prevail. They'll take them out for ice cream, and it'll be fine. That is my prediction. All right, that'll do it for today's show. Thanks so much for joining us. Go Browns! We will see you next time.